With Colton Jackson, I misunderstood. Is he having surgery or didn't require surgery?
No, it did require surgery, and he's already had it. He had it, I guess, 2 weeks ago.
And Jared Cornelius, what's your status on him? Will he be full go?
Yeah, he's ready to go. He's had a good summer. Has worked, got himself back healthy. And, he's cleared and will be ready to go. And obviously, we'll be smart with it and go at his pace. If he's feeling any tightness, then we'll back off of it. But right now, he's had a really good summer and it feels good.
Willen Jackson also, is he 100% ready?
No, not yet. He's not. He will start out in camp and be a part of it. Again, we'll bring him into it and see where he's at in his change of directions, and before we really acclimate him all the way in. I anticipate it. We'll see it after about the first 2 or 3 days and see where we're at, and I'll get with Dave Polanski, our trainer, and kind of see what the next step is. But we anticipate him back pretty soon, pretty quick.
Two things you mentioned, Dalton Wagner and Johnny, who might run out there with the first group, and also with Kevin Richardson. He didn't play a lot in spring, so I mean, how do you think he's going to be able to come in since it's going to be in season maybe?
Well, having him come in is not that's not a concern of mine. This is a guy that's just passionate. I mean, he broke my heart when he called. He was upset, man. I was upset. We talked for a good bit, man. I just encouraged him. I said, "Look, guy, you've put your time in. You're due." He's a guy that'll be able to. He's a mature 6-year guy. He understands what it's going to take to get back. So I don't anticipate that being a problem at all. I did not see him in the spring, as you know, but we did watch him through the course of summer workouts, in the weight room, and he's a guy that's going to be okay. I don't have a problem with that. Dalton Wagner, who's going to run out there with the first group? That very first day, I mean, you'll probably wind up seeing Dalton Wagner at a tackle. Froholt at a guard, Hayes at a center, Gibson at a guard, and Wallace at a tackle. That for the first snap. Now the second snap, you may see, Shane may come in there at tackle, then Kirby may go to guard, and Ty goes to center, and Merritt goes to guard, and Wagner moves over to the right tackle. And then the third snap, we may have a whole new. Again, there's not going to be a certain. This is our group. Fry does a great job of putting the puzzle pieces in play, see how they gel, and then just make a move when we need to move. And a lot of it is in the middle of practice. I may call for the sudden change and make for the move, and I want to see how the players are going to respond. So, but yeah, that's usually the way we will start this thing out.
I might have missed my tight ends. Did you mention O'Grady?
Yes, I talked about CJ. I talked about it's time for him to step up and step forward, and he's got all the talent in the world, and we're expecting some big things out of CJ this year.
How about Jeremy Patton?
Talked about Jeremy. Jeremy's another one that's, this was actually his first full off season he's been through, and to see him transform his body and buy in and know that, look, you only have 4 months left, and so watching him. He's been attentive and attentive to detail in that weight room. So we'll see. He got a lot of talent, a whole lot of talent, and there's competition behind him. But that is an area that I'm excited. I'm excited about our tight end position.
Where's the kicking game coming out of spring in your eyes, and where does it need to be, and that competition that's going to go on both punting, kickoffs?
Yeah, right now at that position we've got several guys that are battling. At the kicking position, we've got some guys, some walk-ons that are coming in and been a part during summer, and Blake, and we just got to be more consistent. I guess that's the biggest thing with our kicking game. We've got to see more consistency. I thought we did some good things. Connor Limpert and those guys, we did some really good things in spring, but we weren't as consistent as I wanted to be, and it showed up. We had an awful day in the spring game, but so we'll see. We've challenged them. We've got some competition going on right there, and what I want is some unit, some battalion of our kicking game to really rise, and 1, 2, 3 areas of that rise, and let's be one of the best in the country at it. What we can't have is all our positions, all our units, all our battalions in our kicking game just being average. We need to have something, 1, 2 of these return units, preferably a punt return or a kickoff return or a kickoff coverage, stepping up and being tops in the SEC, being tops in the country. Because we know that area, that alone can win you a couple games. And so that's been our focus coming into the summer, and it will be coming into fall camp.
Coach, I noticed Gerard Barnes is listed as a sophomore. He just played 1 game last year. Is a red shirt just going for him?
You know, that's something I don't know. I couldn't address that right now. I don't know. I'll have to look at that and see.
Can you go over a little bit with the kind of schedule you guys have for fall camp?
Yeah. We have big weigh-in on Thursday. It's a big to-do. We make it a lot of fun. These guys, and it's a report date. Of course, some of the guys say, "Well, Coach, I hadn't left. How am I reporting if I never left?" Well, it's just back in the day. That's what they used to call the old report date. So we can still keep it that way. So we'll come in. We'll have a big weigh-in. Do it by position. Have a lot of fun with it. Go through team meetings that night. Different just housekeeping things we got to take care of through the course of that evening. People on campus got to come in and want to be a part, introduce them to the team. Friday, we'll start this thing out. Friday is the last day of their summer class. So summer 2 ends Friday. We will get on the field. We'll have meetings early that morning before class. Then they'll come back in that afternoon, and we'll have, it'll be more scheduled, kind of like an in-school, if we were in school that first Friday. Saturday is really the first day of camp, in my opinion, as far as the tradition style of camp, the way it works, where you're there for the most part all day. We'll practice Saturday. We'll be off on Sunday with them. We'll have meetings. Now that you can have 2-hour meetings with them on Sunday. Then we'll step in and Monday through Thursday we're gonna step on them pretty hard. It's gonna be we're gonna bear down on them and it's going to be, we got to go through some acclimatization periods of practice, but we'll get to some live work. Friday, we'll scale back just a little bit and get into Saturday be our first scrimmage. And usually what I try to do is scrimmage on Saturdays but try to go as much live as we can early in camp. Once we get out of the acclimatization period, go live. Tackling, getting a lot of good work in right there. We'll do a lot of one-on-ones. You'll see us in Razorback drill quite a bit. We got to develop some toughness. Toughness and a relentless pursuit to the ball is what we're about. We'll come out of our last practice. I think it's on the 18th, somewhere in there. Don't hold me that. Whatever that Saturday is, I think it's the 18th. Will be our last big scrimmage. It'll be obviously it's when we have our good on goods, and still that's our last big one there. 2 weeks out for the most part, and we'll have a former player reception barbecue. Bring their families out. They'll get a chance to come out and watch practice. We'll have a barbecue. And coaching staff will intermingle with our former players. School starts on the 20th. And we'll have another scrimmage on that Wednesday. And then we do what we call a Beanie Bowl. It's a week out prior to the game, a dress rehearsal for the game. We'll invite the students out, fans out. But, it's all about creating depth. It's all about finding our best 11 and making it work on both sides of the ball and create depth behind it.
Chad, how do you coach your kickoff return men on the new fair catch rule? What do you tell them? And then who are some of the candidates there at kickoff return and punt return?
Yeah, well, again, I'm not going to really get too much in depth with the scheme part of it because I think that everybody's trying to figure out what are they going to do and what are they going to do. I know this, that now with being able to fair catch it, you better put some sure-handed guys back there that can catch. If you're going to call for the fair catch, you better be able to catch it and get the ball on the 25. And so yeah, we've got that. That's kind of the way we've looked at it. We've got an idea of the way some people are going to play it, but I really don't want to dive too deep into some schemes how we're going to do it.
What about candidates at those positions?
Yeah, I mean, guys that can catch. I mean, obviously some of these, you'd hope to put some of these receivers back there that you can count on. But you know, again, the question in turn comes in. You know, you got say a Jonathan Nance back there, Davion Warner, whoever's back there, and you know it's a pooch kick back there. Do you instruct them to take off and go, or do you instruct them to fair catch it and give them the 25? So again, that's the scheme part of this whole thing.
As far as your philosophy, like how physical you want to be in camp, because obviously you want to be healthy going into the
Yeah.
season.
Well, I think there's a time you have to pick and choose. I thought spring ball we were extremely physical. We did a lot of live, a lot of on the ground, getting on the ground, tackling, good on good. I think there's a time and place for that in fall camp. I think it's early on. We have to. I mean, we have to. You know, the only way to teach tackling is you got to tackle, and we've got to be able to be smart about it. And that's why when we schedule our practices, we're you know. I understand that, look, when we get to 2 weeks out, we need to start kind of backing off, but we're not about saving legs right now. It's all about straining these guys as much as we can for the next week and a half, 10 days.
So a couple things. The jersey change, the tweaks, did you have any role in that? What do you think of the new jerseys? And second, Mike Wood's reaction from their arrest and what he's done since then.
Yeah, you know, from the jerseys, you know, I guess I'm an old school guy. I kind of like the look. Without a doubt, love the helmets. That was some of the when I got here, getting with our equipment staff, and I believe they had, you know, when you put these jersey orders in, they go a year and a half out type of thing. So they just informed me of what it was going to look like. But we did talk about the helmets, kind of going back to the kind of the pearl look, which I like, and then you know, talking about, you know, future jerseys. We've already talked about that. So. I'm really kind of an old school guy when it comes to that, but I also know that you know, these guys are, you know, what we're recruiting against, and the excitement level that they have when they see these new uniforms. So.
And then on Mike too, on Woods.
Yeah, you know, I'm probably not going to talk much about Mike Woods outside of where we are, where we stand with him. You know, very disappointed as he is. Actions of a few impact many. And his action impacted many people, and so we're still gathering our information. And he understands that for every action and for every decision, you know, obviously there's a consequence. It has to be good and bad, and so he understands that.
You can't talk specifics on guys, but the recruiting success you're having right now, and just the job that you and your staff are doing, the events you're having, and stuff like that to get these guys to get on board.
Well, it's all about getting on campus. That's it. You know, when you get them on campus, we've got a great product to sell. I mean, my goodness, you know, from all the things that are happening around our campus right now, and the updates, you know, the renovations, the town. I mean, it's absolutely gorgeous, and so we got a lot to sell. Now we got to continue to build and put a product on the field that'll add to that, and we will. But our staff is doing a fabulous job. I'm really proud of these guys. Everybody's hitting the ground running with that, and they understand if we can just get them on campus, we got a chance, and be who we are, and sell what we're about, and why that the University of Arkansas fits them. And you know, get guys on campus, you feel like sometimes you realize, okay, that was great. I'm glad I got him on campus. He doesn't fit what we're about. So let's move another direction. And so that's all about the functions that we have, and I've just been very pleased with the direction we're at. Those areas we have to build on, and I've talked a little bit about how I feel like you have to build a football team and sustain success, and it's in that offensive defensive line first, foremost, and then speed.
What have you thought of Froholt at center, and is there anything barring injuries where you could foresee him being a starter there at some point in the season?
Yeah, I mean, you know, whatever the best five is, whatever your best five combination is, and then you make it work. He got some reps in at center last spring, did some good things. Actually, was very, very, very well received there. Very smart, just a great leader. Do I anticipate that he could be a guy there at center? I think if we had a situation that he had to play at that center position, whether through injury or whatever, I mean, without a doubt, I believe he could do that.
Do you include Colton Jackson and Kevin Richardson in the 105, or will they be I guess, in the 105.
Well, we've yet to, in the 110 now.
Right, or one.
Yeah.
whatever it is.
We haven't quite narrowed our 110 down with Kevin just now getting his surgery. We may be more or less apt to. He can still be there. He just can't be in part of meetings. He can go through all the rehab that he's going to need to be focused on more than anything. So we may let him be a part of just the rehab part of it.